Welcome to MD Power Hour. This week we have a very special episode. We are recapping the New York Pro. Just took place a couple days ago in Teaneck, New Jersey. Joining me is the one, the only Tiger Giles Thomas, all the way from the United Kingdom, which I'm well aware of where it is. It's over there somewhere. How are you, Giles?
Ron, I'm very good, mate. And I want to say before we start, I'm as happy seeing what I saw on the weekend as when I was sat on the toilet hearing that Samson won the Arnold Classic, and then that famous Sunday morning, I had tears rolling down my face. I wouldn't say I had tears rolling down my face, mate, but seeing you in that tailored suit, mate. Oh,
Yeah,
beautiful.
Thank you. It was too much too long. I saw, you've always been very, very dapper. You go to the shows, you get new suits made, and I show up with a polo shirt 3 sizes too small, and my jeans all ripped up. And yeah, it was time. But I actually have to give Jose Raymond credit, because if he hadn't hooked me up with that particular gentleman that makes the suits, I don't think I ever would have done it, because I felt it was stretchy. I'm like, oh, I don't like feeling confined and constrained like I'm in a straitjacket. So props to you, props to Jose.
Don't you feel different, and don't you find that people respond differently to you when when you got your lanyard, you got a nice suit on, and don't you feel more professional? There he is.
I wore it just for this. What a dork. No, 100%, Charles. 100%. No, totally agree. People do treat you differently. They look at you differently when you're in a nice suit. So yeah, I don't know what took me so long.
And also, try traveling in a suit. You get especially when you're traveling transatlantic, you get a lot less questions at security. They just go, "There you go, Mr. Thomas. Would you like anything? Here's a cocktail."
So I won't get the full cavity searches anymore. Is that
no, unfortunately not. No, you can pay for it if you want to, but
yeah,
it's dodgy airport, that one.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah. So we had the New York Pro. Jose covered it with me for Muscular Development. It was a great show. It's a one-day show, which I've learned to really appreciate. Obviously, Olympia's we're there for days and days. Arnold Classic, we're there for days and days. This is a one and done. So what we have on the screen there was Antonio. That was the winning interview. Tonio Burton is. Are we seeing that, Jen? Is that what they're seeing? Is the winning interview? Okay. So yeah, Tonio Burton knocked it out of the park. This is his second Open Pro win. He won at least one. I know he won the Indy Pro as a 212. I'm not sure if he won anything else as a 212, but he quickly became a very legitimate open bodybuilder. And I doubt he weighs more than he didn't know what he weighed. So I took a wild guess. He's probably about 225, probably right around there. I don't think he's any. So, but like Dexter, what do you think Dexter was at his heaviest when he was at his best shape?
Well, they say they claimed it was 240, but I don't. If he started off as a bantamweight at 140, I never believed that he was 240 on stage, because he's one of those guys that is like Tony's a bit of an illusion. He's got those crazy muscle bellies, like Flex Wheeler at 218, winning the Arnold in 93. I don't think Dexter was 240, but he didn't need to be, because he had such a beautiful shape, beautiful structure, beautiful the long torso with nice wide shoulders and the great separation, and the blade, awesome condition every time.
Yeah. I only have one gripe about his posing routine. He didn't even take a full minute. I think you get 90 seconds, I think, is the limit. I don't think they get as much as they used to, because I remember sitting through 5-minute routines a long time ago. But I think I started recording a couple seconds late, and when I hit stop record, it said 40 seconds or something. And he walked off stage. Everyone's like, "What? That was it?" Because he's the guy we all knew he was going to win. We wanted to see him really show off some great poses and this and that. But he hit a few great poses, smiled, and he was done. Meanwhile, I didn't tape it, but the young lady who won women's bodybuilding, Natalia Kovaleva.
Yeah.
Sorry, Czech Republic people, if I'm mutilating her name. They turned her music off after 90 seconds, or whatever the allotted time was, and she did this thing what? And she kept going for another full minute.
Wow.
She had a 2 or 3 minute routine choreographed, and she did that whole routine. She wouldn't leave until she was done. So
Defiant. I quite like that, but I bet Steve was going crazy, because you just said there. I mean, I was shocked when I was, all those divisions, and it's all in one day. I mean, I think maybe some of the other promoters could really learn how they schedule this show, because the thing is, they're going to have to be really, really strict on those times. So I bet they were going crazy when she did that, to go on for another full minute, not just, a couple of poses, you know. But thing is, she must have known that it was, you know, unless you know, she sort of thought, well, Jake will have a word, you know, because
Jake was there. Yeah. So
yeah, because
I don't think she didn't get in trouble. She won anyway. So
brilliant.
Let's see. Where do you want to start? I guess we'll start with open men. Why not? That's the division that most people come to see, and the one that people talk about. See, look at all these papers I'm rifling through just to get to men's open bodybuilding. So it was Tonio Burton, no surprise, and Beef Stuart Sutherland really did himself proud. I thought he presented a great package, was in excellent condition, very confident poser. That hair was like a lot of people thought he had a wig on. Can we pull up Beef Stew's routine, Jen? Yes.
Dye it black. Did he dye it black? Because it looked pretty dark to me.
I don't know, but that is his real hair. I went up close to make sure it wasn't a wig, and I'm thinking, no, that's not a wig. That's his real hair, because he's only 26 years old. He's a young guy.
26.
26. And I remember he had very short hair when he won the USA last July. And in the interview I did with him last week, he told me that the last haircut I got was like a week before the USA last year. I haven't cut my hair since. So, but you know, it's refreshing to see a full, lustrous, beautiful head of curly hair when, you know, there's a lot of guys in their 20s now that come up there with bald heads. But here we go. So here's Stuart.
Got the sound on. I mean, but thing is, with guys like this, they all have you know, like Kai Green had his hair, and all these different bodybuilders have their shtick, not their shtick, but their thing that separates them, the identity, the thing that people will remember. You know, I thought he would either have it cut or he would have it scraped back in like a ponytail or something. But I kind of admire the guy for just kind of going for it. But what I mean, thing is, it's not actually his pro debut, because he got 7th in Tampa last year. I was really shocked when he told me that, because he did not pop into my mind. There was no memory, because I probably would have seen pictures. He didn't, you know, flag up as someone that really had the kind of potential he's been showing here. But I mean, I remember, I think it must have been probably about a year ago. I think it maybe when he was doing the USA, when he won the USA, I had him in Hot News and MD Globe Muscle. I had him a couple of times, because I think the name obviously popped out to me as well. And his physique must have, you know, blipped up on my radar a little bit. But my God, the improvements this guy has made in the last year. I mean, for me, he's as big a talking point as, say, Crizzo or Jacked was last year, or Nick Walker in 2021. I mean, this so far of the year, I think this is probably the most talked about certain newcomer. You know, like I said, like Crizzo or Jacked was last year, because everyone is talking about this guy. And another thing is, he delivered, because, you know, we said in the preview, we thought it would be Tonio and Stu as the top two. We thought that was the two main front runners coming in. So to see this guy deliver, I mean, you can see all these pictures and stuff on Instagram and videos, and you know, it's probably from the right angle. It's chosen out of 300 pictures. You know, it's flattering light. It's flattering because they've chosen it. But for this guy to really kind of deliver, and for his physique to translate as well as we kind of hoped it would, you know, for me, he was a highlight of the show.
Yeah, I mean, so much thick, dense muscle, branded hard condition. I thought it was I actually said to Jose, I said, I'm going to call this his pro debut, even though it's not.
Yeah.
I barely remembered him last year at Tampa. He looked good, but this was a totally different package. And that, you know, it's hard to keep these guys straight. Like, a lot of them kind of look alike, but with a name like Beef Stew and hair like that, this is a very unique physique, personality. It's just cool. And if Tonio doesn't go to Cal, which is he already going? I can't recall what he said in the interview right now, but
messaged me today. He said he was, because I was trying to get him on Global for yesterday, but he was late getting home. So he sent a picture of him in the car driving somewhere. He said, I'm late home. So he was going home yesterday. Okay. So I can check my phone, but yeah. So I don't think he's doing this one. I think it'd be a mistake to do this, because I'd like to see Stu, because now they've done away with the points. I'd really like to see Stu get an instant qualification, 100%. And then we can start hyping him up for the Olympia, and also give the other guys a chance, because that top two was pretty clear to me. I don't know about you.
Very much so. Oh, very much so. I mean,
yeah, I agree.
You could tell the final call out of the judging. Actually, we have a good video, Jen. If you want to pull up Beef Stew versus Tonio, these are all. So this was the final call out, and it was clear, because after the first call out, I think they took everyone. They took Stu and Tonio out of the lineup, and they added in a couple more guys. And that's always a clear sign. Okay, well, there's your top two. And then after all the other comparisons, after they get through the third call out guys and this and that, they brought Stu and Tonio out again, and everyone's like, okay, here we go. So, you know, I think Tonio, it was a clear win. He got a perfect score. He's got just beautiful, pretty shape, but it's a Beauty and the Beast situation. I mean, Stu is just so thick and dense. I mean, look at those quads.
Do you know what? If you look at this now, watching this now, isn't this like another Jay and Dexter 2008?
Yeah. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, totally different types of physiques. Stu would have more of what we call the Herculean physique, I guess, just, you know, thicker. He's not blocky by any means. He doesn't have like a big gut or anything like that. He's just a thicker, I mean, he's 5'8", he was about 250, 255 on stage. Nice. And I want to say Tonio, I think he's about, I'm 5'7.5". He can't be much shorter than me. Maybe he's 5'7". Like I said, 225, maybe 228 or something, but an illusion. But geez, look at the shape.
Personally, I mean, I'd like to know what you think as well. But I mean, I think he could do a little bit more kind of lower lat thickness like Hunter, you know, like a little bit more going on in that, you know, below the scapula to the glutes. I think I could definitely see a little bit more going on there. But I think for Cali, I mean, he could get a little bit drier. You know, I mean, this footage, he looks in good condition, but he could definitely get a little bit tighter. What do you think, Ron? I mean, I think he's a shoo-in for Cali, unless somebody else is jumping in or somebody dramatically improves from New York. But I think he's got this as a lock. But how do you think he could improve now? Say he wins Cali and then he goes to Olympia. What would you say that he needs to do? Because I think he's very complete. I think that's what I like most about him. But what would you think he needs to do to really level up for the Olympia?
Yeah, a little better conditions. Condition was very, very good. Don't get me wrong, but obviously for the Olympia, you want it to be lights out, spectacular, rainy, dry condition, and you can never have too much lower lat thickness. You can never have too much back thickness or detail. That's why they say contests are won from the back, because so many people look phenomenal from the front. When they turn around, that's when you can see, okay, well, this guy doesn't really have much lower lats. The hamstrings could be this and that. That's where you start seeing more chinks in the armor from the back. But Stu, man, I know it's not his debut, but I still consider him a rookie. Obviously, he's an incredible rookie. To be so young.
Well, I think because you can say this was his pro debut, because this was his first pro debut prep. Because the prep he did for the Tampa wasn't a separate prep after off season. He just basically carried, like a lot of these guys do, he carried on his diet after the USA. So really, I think we can really consider this. I know not technically it's wrong, but I think we can pretty much say this was his pro debut, because this was after a first proper off season as a pro, and this was him displaying what he considers to be a pro level physique. So I think we can call it that.
And I mean, I think I've said this a couple of times, but I want to give him credit. He competed in Tampa with COVID. He was not feeling well at all. He got COVID in Las Vegas when he won the USA. So many of you out there have had the Rona, the COVID. And you know,
I never got it, Ron.
I never got it either. I mean, I don't know. I'm just bionic man. I want to talk about this guy because as usual, Giles, if someone comes out of Europe, you have knowledge of them far before I do. You usually hype them up, put them in MD Global Muscle Buzz column, put them in hot news on MD Global Muscle. And I'm pretty sure you were the first one I ever heard about Joseph. How do you say his last name? Kveton. I have no idea how to pronounce that. From Czech Republic.
Oh, actually, but because I've been speaking back and forth to him, but it's all been by text. We've not actually spoken.
Kveton?
It's probably said a certain way, like like Swedish. They'll say it like with a certain. You have to say it with a certain accent and way. So we probably butchered it completely as normal.
Joseph K. He was what I mean. A lot of people were kind of upset. A lot of Joe Seaman fans were upset he didn't get third, but this guy was legit. This Joseph guy, he seemed very tall. I saw him walk by, but it was from a little bit of a distance. I want to say he's about 6'6'1", very big, very wide, and these shoulders. Jen, can we pull up Joseph Kveton's posing routine? Where one more I had my camera facing the wrong way when I started the routine, taping it. But the shoulders on this guy, they're as big and full and round as somebody who's put a gallon of oil into them. But they didn't, because I could see all the detail, all the separations, every fiber, stripy delts. And awesome. That's Giles's patented phrase, by the way. None of you guys can use that without his express permission. Joseph, very, very impressive. He wasn't really missing anything. Just a big, well put together guy, tons of muscle. Yeah, rocking that.
He doesn't quite look as sharp as he was at the Arnold Brazil here, but I think he looks a lot fuller, and I think it makes his physique look a lot more striking. In fact, I think he actually looks better here than the Arnold Brazil, because he did that a few weeks ago and got fourth, if you remember. And do you remember Jen in the prejudging? You know, when he was moved to the center, like Jen, you thought actually he was a front runner for winning it, and that was beating, you know, guys of like Beruz and Emir and.
It's true. I did. I honestly thought he had the Arnold Brazil in the prejudge.
What's the hot chocolate guy? The second guy.
Hot chocolate? What?
Oh, yeah. Nescau.
Yeah. So he was up at, you thought you maybe could have, he was in certainly at that level, but do you know what, before all the progress pictures started coming in, the prep pictures started coming in before the Arnold Brazil, I'd never heard of him. And don't forget, I was in Prague last year for the EVLS, and I was with Lucas Sladdle at the after party, and we were talking about like the history of the after party. We were talking with Krizo was there. And we were talking about like the kind of history of all the best Czech bodybuilders, Pavel Yabernikli, and we went right through them. And I said, "Come on, man, is there any new guys coming through?" And he didn't mention Joseph's name. So this guy, for me, and I think even for them, is a bit of an unknown. So I've been trying to get him on global since literally around even before the Arnold Brazil. And he was on holiday, and then he was away, and he said, "No, I definitely want to come on." He said, "But I want my wife to help me translate." And I think he was a bit nervous. So now this show's out the way, I think the thing is he told me he's doing Cali as well. Oh, good. So it'll be interesting to see him going up against Stu Sutherland as well. So he's really he's going for it this year. He's not doing like a one show. He's really gunning to qualify for the Olympia. So I'm very, very keen to get him on global, because I really want to find out more about this guy, because we've talked about it many, many times. The guys that, like I said, look great on social media, and then something, like all the pictures are in baggies, and then you see them on stage and you realize the reason why was because they had absolutely no legs. But this guy doesn't. He really has, like Stu Sutherland, he's really delivered. And it's like I said, he's another exciting new face that really has he's made an impact. And we're all, and I'm glad he did a show in America as well. But also, I really, really hope that if he does qualify for Olympia, or even if he doesn't, I really hope that he goes to the EVLS Prague show, because I really want to see him in the flesh, and I want to meet him face to face, because obviously we'll be going back to do the live stream with myself and Lauren. So I'm really, this is a newcomer I'm really excited about. So fantastic showing. I think he's got a fantastic future, and I'm glad you got to see him, Ron.
I was going to say EVLS Prague would be a great show for him, but did Krizo already say he was doing that again? I think he did.
Krizo's doing Spain.
Okay, so maybe he'll already be qualified. And oh wow,
yeah,
oh wow.
No. What about the one in August? Oh, is he doing that one?
More than 2 weeks away, isn't it?
You sure?
Absolutely. It's not the same day as. So we have Cali next week.
He said it in the video I sent you. What if you're watching?
Oh wow! Okay, fantastic. Okay,
cool. Okay. Jen,
well, hang on. I'll speak to Emilio and see if he wants me for live stream, because I want to go. I want to go to that, because I'm really keen to see if Krizo's made the improvements into Olympia, because obviously I think after the Arnold Classic, I think people have forgotten about Krizo for some reason.
What?
Yeah, crazy. He's, a couple of weeks' time, I think everyone's going to be talking about him again as well.
Well, that's because beef stew is the new flavor of the month, and as soon as
I see what you did there.
Flavor.
Oh boy!
And as soon as that, he qualifies, or somebody else comes around that's bigger. I mean, let's just say, for example, Sergio decides to jump into Cali.
Yeah.
All eyes are going to be on Sergio. Beef stew is going to fall to second place, because everyone's going to be focusing on Sergio. So it's whoever is popular at that time. That's who they're going to focus on. But this is also a reason why you shouldn't sleep on them, because this is when guys come up and make their move. Like we saw at the 2020 Olympia with Brandon and Phil. All eyes were on Brandon and Phil. Meanwhile, who came up and won the show? Big Ramy.
Ramalama Ding Dong.
Yeah.
Ramy was there.
Yeah.
Jen, could we look at the first call out from Open, please?
Yes.
So talk about a couple of these other guys that were up there. Definitely deserve a mention. Joe Seaman, very, very impressive.
Ron,
yes.
At the end, I've got some very random topics and questions I'd like to discuss if we've got time at the end, please.
Fair enough. Okay, so we're looking at So on the left, that's actually he ended up placing 10th. The guy on the left. I think that's right. That's not Eric Wood, right?
Eric Wood's on the left.
Oh, that is Eric Wood. I'm confusing
And
with the Australian.
did you see my post
right.
on MD Globe Muscle Instagram? And I said, we believe, I said at MD Globe Muscle, I said, we believe that Eric Wood will be first call out at the New York Pro, and we believe he will be top 5. He got first call out and he got 5th place. So I messaged him yesterday. I said, thank you so much.
Mystic Tiger's track record is about 98.2%.
No, it's 0.3.
So, yeah, I just want to mention it's Joe Seaman there with the turquoise trunks. Joe looked so much better than I remembered. I remember him turning pro. It was probably like 4 or 5 years ago at the Toronto show, and then he did the
2019, wasn't it?
I didn't even recognize him, Ron. I didn't even know that.
Yeah, he put on. And when he was walking out, Jose and I were doing our wrap up, and he happened to walk out, and Jose had speculated on his weight, and he was dead on. He said he was 271, then he dried out to 268. So look at all that beef and great condition.
I spoiler alert, not the global that's coming out on Wednesday, but the global after. I've got Joe booked in because I've been following Joe right from, like I said, when he took 4th at the Toronto, when you saw him when he turned pro. And I've really been following him. And last year, I felt like he got some harsh placings. He went to the Arnold UK and he didn't really get anywhere. And for a couple of years, he was kind of, he was doing that in 2019, 2020. And then he kind of dropped off. And I felt really disheartened for him because he was really improving. He was really getting bigger and better. So I was really, really happy to see him back up there. And it's funny because I did Global yesterday with Derek and we did like a bit of a review. And I said, look how big at the top, we brought up the top 5 picture. And I said, look how big Joe looks. I said, he looks he's towering over everyone. Derek even noticed it as well. He says, how tall is he? I said, he looks like he's dwarfing everybody else. I said, yeah, but look, he's stepping forward of the red line. And then I said, well, hang on a minute, let's double check. So I zoomed in and he wasn't. He was actually on the line with the other guys. He just looked, he literally looked double the size of everybody else. It was so impressive. So, and I messaged Joe and I was trying to get him on yesterday, but he wanted to spend the day with his lady. So I said, right, well, we'll get you booked in for next week. So I said, mate, I'm so happy for you. I said, you must be so pleased with that. So check out the episode 33 when it comes out, because I get on really well with Joe and he gives really good interviews. So I'll really find out what his next moves are and how he's doing, because he's a cool guy.
And he could have been 3rd. I don't think there would have been any issue at all if him and Joseph from Czech Republic had swapped places. In fact, I remember Jose was elbowing me. He says, which one of those two? I said, I don't know, man. They have similar types of physiques. I had a hard time. I almost would have gone with the only reason I went with the Czech gentleman, Joseph, was just those crazy delts on the V taper. He had a little bit of taper, but man, Joe Seaman just brought it. So much thick muscle, great shape, killer condition. Props to Joe. He's improved tremendously.
What did you think about Eric's placing? Because top 5 is fantastic for a pro debut, but what could he been higher? Did you agree with the placing?
Oh, totally. I didn't have him beating either Joseph or Joe, or obviously not Stu or Tonio. So, like I said, 5th place, it could sound like, oh no, he only got 5th place, but you got beat by 4 very good guys. He looked great. It's just they were very close. It was a very tight top 5.
It was good.
Yeah.
It was good.
Tonio was a clear winner, but it wasn't some of those shows where the quality drops off pretty quickly. It was pretty consistent.
People were saying like, oh, there's no big names and stuff. I said, no. I said, that's a good thing, because, I used to groan when the New York Pro used to have like Rulli or Dexter in it. And you just think, oh, God, they're just scooping up what really is kind of like an easy win, really, to pick up a win and pick up a better prize money. So when the guys kind of the bigger names, the well-known top 6, top 10 Olympia guys, don't jump into shows like that, I'm in some ways, I'm more excited, because you do get guys like, look what we've got to see: Eric Wood, Stu Sutherland, Joseph, 3 new guys in the top 5 that, that you'd never seen before, that you were excited to see, that delivered, that kind of, we're in with a fighting chance from the very, very start. So for me, I as a spectator, watching the show, for me, like the thing is, now we've got some new stars that are born now that have had a chance to really have a lot of eyes on them, that they would have been overshadowed, say, if Samson or a Ramy had jumped in this and just kind of scooped up a win, because then it detracts away from the new guys that are trying to make their mark. But with Tonio, when I first saw him, I noticed the added sweep on his quads. I mean, his quads are bigger, his shoulders are bigger, but I have seen him. I have seen him slightly sharper.
Yeah, he wasn't, like I said, he had the best of everything. You know, he had the best total package. I think I'm going to go on a limb say I think almost everybody in the top 5, the rest of the top 5 was probably in better condition than Tonio.
Yeah,
certainly the two Joes were and Eric were, but he had the best. He had the best combination of size, shape, condition, presentation, the best overall package. But yeah, he tightens that up and brings up his lower lats.
Who would you say had the best condition in the top 10?
Brent Swanson.
Yeah, I thought you'd say that.
Yeah. He did. I mean, Brent was, I don't think he could have been any leaner than Brent Swanson was, because he knows he doesn't have the prettiest structure and shape. He's got a lot of muscle, but he knows he had to have, without that condition, he was not going to be in the mix at all. So I don't think we have any footage of Brent. But
I spoke to Brent yesterday for Global.
Oh, okay.
It was funny because he was in the airport. He was in the airport and he was like, he was crouched down and he was
maybe in the pose down, in the overall pose down, we would have.
So I'm getting a lot of.
Yeah.
I'm getting a lot of stares here. He says, and people are wondering what the hell I'm talking about. And you know, because obviously we're talking about all the bodybuilding things. And he said it's funny to see the response of like general public when we're just talking about bodybuilding because it's so natural to us, so normal. But he said we really started to pick up on just how kind of weird it really is.
Oh, I mean, he's at an airport. He's this big 250-pound ripped guy with platinum blonde hair, platinum blonde eyebrows, you know, super dark, fake tan. I mean, I'd stare at that too if I was a regular person. Like, what the hell is that?
I said to him, I'm so glad you survived being run over by that e-scooter. And all the lines, all the tram lines in his head.
That's right. Tram lines in his head. Yeah.
Good.
So actually we'll maybe come back to that later. Let's get to 212 because I want to talk about some of these guys. Again, didn't have a lot of big names as this show had in the past. There's been a deeper 212 lineup, but
Ron,
yes.
Can I interject one moment? What about Max Charles? I've not really seen much about him, and you know, what happened? What was the verdict?
Well, he was 6th place. He landed just out of the top 5.
Mm-hmm.
At the judging, I thought he could have been a little sharper. He definitely tightened up. It wasn't much longer. It was only a space of about 4 hours for the finals. Tightened up significantly. It's a very similar package to what he's been bringing for the past couple of years.
Okay.
And it's not that he was off. It's not that he's like got any torn body parts. I kind of get the sense that we've seen him so many times. It's like we want to see something new, or else it's kind of like Max again. And you know, when you're that good for that long, people just expect so much from you.
Would you say there's a decline? I mean, I just want him to look as good.
I think he looks. If he's declining, it's not by much. It's maybe a very, very minuscule amount. But,
I mean, for me, I mean, I was surprised to hear he was jumping in this, but for me, he's kind of warming up for the Masters Olympia, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean, that's where he's really going to shine. And I don't mean to say that he can't hang with the Open. He was still in top 6. He still beat a lot of the younger current pros, but we were actually, Jose and I were trying to figure out how old he is because Victor Martinez claimed he's a few years older than what we thought he was. But I think he's about 45, 40, somewhere between 44, 47. Sounds about right to me. But he's holding up. I mean, I don't see loose skin. I don't see anything like that. So here we're looking. There he is right there. So we're looking at this is the pose down, which was purely for the entertainment of the crowd. You see Robin Strands from Canada. You see Brent with the blonde hair.
Robin looks good.
Robin looked very good. Robin needs a little more work on his back, a little more arms. Little better condition, but he's definitely so much better than what I remembered from him.
This number, the guy in the red trunks there in the middle there. Who's that?
It's Leo Cubano. I think that's what his name is.
He looks good.
Right.
I saw him on one of the Instagram pages, and he was on there like there was a panel, like a group of pictures, and I was like, I don't know who this guy is. It was a side tricep. He looked fantastic. But that's him.
Leonardus Cardosa Delfino from Texas, originally from Cuba. Probably some of the best arms in the show, if not the best. They had that fullness that you usually only see from people who pumped a bunch of oil into them. But I could tell by the way the muscle was shaped and was moving, it looked 100% legit to me. But yeah.
And sorry, finally, before we move on to 212, what about Nate Spear? What was your verdict? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, Nate was improved. Nate's getting better all the time. Bigger, leaner, brought the condition. He's a work in progress. You know, he's just getting started. Second pro show. he's doing, I think most of these people are doing Cali and Toronto. It's going to be
Right.
a lot of the same athletes, and why not? It's back-to-back shows. But yeah, very proud. Nate did New England proud, my area of the country. All of us Boston guys were rooting for him. So yeah, Nate
And
brought it.
one final question. Sorry, which of those shows are you going to in the next few weeks?
I'm not going to him. No.
Okay.
I'm going to be doing it right here with you, hopefully, if you're awake.
Yeah, I'll be awake. Yeah.
Drink some
I've got
coffee.
an espresso machine. Don't worry about it.
Oh, nice.
That's right. We got 2 weeks back-to-back shows. We've got California Pro and Toronto Pro. So
Probably some European shows like the weekend after that or something like that.
and
Probably.
then a whole lot of European shows. Yeah.
Yeah. Guys are getting busy promoting shows.
We
over
do
there.
have
God
one,
bless.
we do have one break though, so at least we can have like one day to barbecue something.
Well, I'm going to because now I've got my passport. I've got proof. I've got my passport. I can. I'm going to speak to Emilio because if he wants me to do live stream, because I turned him down last year because it was too many in a row. I was going to Romania and Spain, bloody Prague, and I just couldn't be away every single weekend because obviously global, you know. So I'll speak to Emilio because I would like to get out to Spain again because also I want to hopefully the one in August. I want to see Nathan D'Asher.
Oh yeah,
Coming
geez.
back, and I thought he was going up against Crizzo in the one
awesome.
in August, but I want to really, I want to see what Nathan's up to because obviously with Samson kind of doing what he's done in the last year and a half, I'm really hoping that one day we'll see those two go up against each other again because that's a big talking point here in the UK.
That would be totally cool if that happened. That would be so cool. Nathan and Crizzo face off. That would be nice.
Yeah, Nathan wants a rematch with Samson, even though he's already beaten him before. But
He's beaten him 2 or 3 times, British Grand Prix, Arnold UK, you know, and then obviously Nathan's won 9 pro shows, but Samson has won 2, but one of those was the Arnold Classic. So what would you say is the Arnold Classic equivalent of in terms of other pro shows won?
8.
2, 3,
That's
4?
like 8, no, 7. I don't know.
Really?
Close.
That's a question I think we should do a poll on because I think, like, just so you could say to Samson, right, okay, then forget the money. You know, what would you rather win? The Arnold Classic America, you know, in Columbus, the big one, the number 2 show in the world, or you can win, you know, all these other pro shows scattered around the world. And if you had a, you know, magic wand, what would you want to win? What would you rather own? Do you know what I mean?
I mean, I think most people would go with the Arnold win. That puts you in the history books. It's a really nice paycheck. You know, puts you up there with Jay Cutler, Ronnie Coleman, Lex Wheeler, Dexter Jackson. Phil never won it. Kai Green, you know, pretty much everybody's won that show.
And it's not like you can say he won in a weak year, so it's kind of like it was not a fluke, but it was like, but the fact is he won beating Ramy and all these, you know, Clarida and all these Nick Walker, and you know, it was a really strong Arnold. So it's not just any Arnold. It's like spoke to Michael DeBull and I said, mate, you didn't get just top 10 in any Olympia in the Classic. I said, you got top 10 in the Classic Olympia with 59 guys. I said, that's something, you know, that probably, you know, is probably better than if you place top 5 this year. That's more of an achievement. Sorry.
It's running now, Giles.
Okay, so what are we looking at? So
would you rather win the Arnold Classic, Mr. Big
cool.
Evolution, New York Pro, or Tampa Pro?
well, I mean, obviously people would want to win the Arnold Classic.
Arnold Classic is so far 100% of the vote.
No,
Yeah,
I'm talking about how many shows would you?
How many pro shows does it equal?
5 pro wins or the Arnold. I can give you one in your career. What would you rather go for?
What was that?
This is like if you could win 10 other shows but no Arnold or the Arnold,
okay.
which one would you do? This is like F, marry, kill. One of those silly things. But
Well, we have snog, marry, avoid in the UK. We have more civilized.
Very well.
Yeah.
Well, let's get to 212. Jen,
It's
can
the
we
same thing.
please
Kiss, marry, kill. Yeah.
could we pull up 212 first call out so we can start talking about these gentlemen?
Yes. Okay.
My 212 pounders.
All righty.
So Kareth Baggio, man, it was a very clear victory. I didn't see anybody beating him. I have seen a better Kareth. I thought he was better at the Texas show last year, just by a minuscule amount. Like once you set that standard, that's what people are going to expect from you. He looked very, very good. Don't get me wrong.
I've seen Schnapper.
See that guy on the left with the beard? That was actually George Farah's nephew, Ralph Farah from Lebanon.
Oh yeah, I saw on the group chat.
Yeah. I saw some similarities with the physique. He just needs to fill out a little bit more.
Wow.
But really, really strong 212 class, even though it didn't have a lot of big names. this Korean guy with the giant legs, obviously that's the Mass 212 on Instagram. Kind of a letdown for both me and Jose, only because had he been in really good condition, we're talking about Sung Yup Jang from Korea, he would have been pushing for the win. There's no doubt in my mind. He was second place last year. Can't remember.
Yeah, he was. I was like Beef Stew. I was hyping this guy like a year ago, 2 years ago, on Hot News on Global. I was saying, watch out for this guy, because I think, yeah, he was one. And last year he did deliver. He got second here, and he's but the conditioning was really poor. I bet Milos is quite disappointed with that. What did he place?
He ended up in fifth, and I thought he could have. No, I mean, he could have even been a little lower. And I only say that because the condition was. Jen, did I film the 212 callouts?
Let me check.
I think I did at the night show or the confirmation round.
He needs more back as well, doesn't he? He needs a lot more back thickness.
You know, I'm going to get some flack for this from all the Koreans out there, but Jose and I both noticed with the Korean bodybuilders, we don't see a lot of great backs. We see phenomenal up to a man. They all have these crazy lower bodies, massive quads, hams, huge calves. But okay, gotcha. So a lot of so I didn't get the call outs, but very impressed with a couple of the guys. It was this second place guy was pushing Kara, Diego Montoya from Colombia. Get the post down up again, Jen. And
I've been talking back and forth a lot with Diego in the last couple of days, because I got his number off Patrick Tour, because he's prepped by Patrick Tour, and I said, Patrick, who is this guy? I said, and straight away he just sent me his contact. So I contacted him. I was trying to get him on yesterday, but we're going to get him on for next week's Global.
That's him with the tattoos on his delts. He's got a big number 20 on his right delt. But
and do you know what he said? He said, yeah, the plan was, he said, if I didn't do well in this show, I was gonna stop. And I said, what do you mean? I said, what do you mean? Stop for the season or for the year? He said, for good. He said, I was going to stop bodybuilding altogether, competing he said, if I didn't do, he did what Dorian did in 1990. He said, if I don't make top 3, I'm going to retire. I'm not going to compete anymore because I don't think I'm good enough. So this guy, he says, yeah. And I said, please tell me. Okay, then. Okay, you're not going to retire now or stop when you've just got started. Please tell me you're going to do more shows. So he is, because he's based in Miami at the moment, and he's waiting for his green card or residency or something, citizenship. So I can check the messages. But he the guy with the back piece right there, the back tattoo. Just want to make note, Jason Hebert. He looked really, really good. Hebert, they pronounce it Hebert. Shannon Day did, but I graduated with a kid named with that spelling. We called him Hebert, Mark Hebert. So, but Jason brought it. Great package. He's definitely someone. Like I said, had it been a fewer bigger names, we wouldn't even be talking about these guys, and they were well worthy of recognition. They're great physiques, but sometimes there's so many great physiques in the pro league now. You can be that good and get overlooked or ignored when there's some big names that you're going to focus on. But hang on. You know, the 212 guys. You know, they've lost it from the Arnold. They've lost certain shows. You know, they're not helping themselves if they don't jump in and attend and compete in these shows. You know, so what's to stop Steve stopping 212 next year? Because he says, well, hang on a minute. You know, we haven't got some of the top 6 Olympia guys, top 5 Olympia guys coming in and kind of supporting by competing and doing our show and bringing attention. So these guys need to, these 212 guys need to realize that, you know, their class is not, guaranteed, you know, so they need to compete.
Steve Weinberger he comes from that real hardcore bodybuilding background. He's never going to cut 212 bodybuilding out of New York Pro. They didn't have fitness at this one, probably because maybe they didn't have enough numbers. Fitness is the hardest division. They're always getting hurt, but that was the only division I didn't see. Obviously, there's no wheelchair, but
that's to do with the size of the stage.
Yeah, we had wellness.
Usually it's usually with fitness. It's not because of the numbers. It's because I spoke to Lena about this, and she said the reason we don't have in Romania is the stage isn't big enough.
Flip, bang! Yeah, I can see that happen.
Yeah.
Okay, so can we look at Carrot's routine, Jen, and we'll move on. Carrot Baggio. Yeah. Carrot? Oh, did I not send it to you? Oh boy. Okay, Ron messed up, everybody. Sorry about that, guys. Well, anyway, congratulations to Carrot. He looked phenomenal. He's shutting it down to the Olympia. 7th place last year. I expect him to make some improvements and move up. But let's move on.
He was.
Yeah.
I spoke to him yesterday, and he's 207. So
Was he 207 at the show?
Yeah, 207 at the show. But he's one of these guys that, if you're 207, that's kind of a good. If you're between, say, 205 and 210, in your best condition, that's kind of the best place to be if you're a 212. Because if you're 212, then it means you're really having to pay close attention, which means the stress is a lot more of trying to make weight, things you might have to do, which means then you can go flat or you can overspill. So the guys that are kind of between 205 and 210, consistently, they're the ones that really probably in the best spot to sort of keep on doing well as a 212. But did you know he's spoiler alert, he wants to do an open show at 220 next year. Yeah, he said, I'm just going to do one. He says, probably at the end of this year after the Olympia, he says, I'm going to jump in he said, the goal is to get my glutes in at 220. So I remember I said Kamal couldn't do that at 220 when I heard he was going to be 220 at Tampa. I was like, no, he's going to blow it. And he ended up looking even better. So I'm really, really keen to see how he looks. Because some guys, sometimes, because they're fuller and everything, and they just look better, and they don't have that constraint on them, they can just look absolutely insane. And he's got that nice, round, full, So if he's really pushing against the skin and he's really freaky, he could look sensational as an open.
I don't know if you're aware of this. Jose and I talked about in the wrap-up. Last year's winner, Noel Adame, he was there. He wasn't she didn't go to the contest. He was in New Jersey. He was supposed to compete, could not get under like 218 pounds. And he was so upset and frustrated. He just said, forget it. I'm not competing.
Oh, no.
Instead of jumping in the open where I think he would have had a really good look. But yeah, he was so upset that he could not make, and I thought he went to the weigh-ins, but no, he didn't even bother going to the weigh-ins because he was like 6 or 8 pounds over and he was already dried out, couldn't get rid of the last bit of weight. So that's a shame. I would have liked to see him in the show. He's really good.
That's a real big mistake. So what he now needs to do, he needs to either just keep prepping and find another show and really make sure he gets down to 212, or he just needs to just basically prep as he is and go and jump in open show. Because I think, like with Jose, like with all these other guys like Kamal and stuff, I think now we've started to realize in the last couple of years that these 212 guys, if they come in really, really good condition and they can actually bring in a better physique, they will surprise themselves at how well they do in the open. So Noel, if you're watching this, mate, you need to stick to one of those plans. You cannot let a prep go to waste. He should have done this. He should have, that's a shame.
Well, you and I were both covering this sport long before there was a lighter weight division. And we saw guys like the late Momo Benaziza, Lee Priest,
Thierry
Pastel. I mean, going back further, Danny Padilla. I mean, tons of guys. And look at Hadi and Derek. I mean, who would have thought that they would do this well in the open? Oh, 212 guys. No, it's just a physique. It doesn't matter what you weigh or how tall you are. So it's a shame. I wish I could have seen Noel.
Look at the top two at the bloody Olympia. They're 212s.
That's what I'm saying.
They recently were 212s,
Yeah. I mean, it's not like they're 280 pounds or anything. Or what was Samson, 295 or something ridiculous?
Kamal's probably going to win the Open Masters Olympia. Let's face it.
Oh, yeah. Who's beating him? I guess we'll find out. Jen, can we go to men's classic physique first call out, please? Check out some of these gents.
Good class.
Mystic Tiger called it. He said Michael DeBoule, but I mean, you didn't even need your crystal ball for that one, did you? That was an easy one.
It was a good top three, minds. Like that, it could have gone either way. Could have gone any way.
I'll tell you this. See the gentleman with the mustache next to him, Junior Dvorsky from Brazil.
Yeah,
really, really pulled it out for this one. He looked phenomenal.
It's his side chest.
Yeah, he's got a hell of a. I don't even know how he makes weight, but he's so tall. He must have like a 240-pound weight cap or something or more.
Look at his chest and his shoulder.
Yeah, jeez, that's a hell of a shot. Hey, Camilo Diaz there looking great. Mm-hmm. We got Alexander Westermeyer from Germany was in third after Junior.
He's impressive. Camilo. He won. Alexander won Pittsburgh last year, beating Neil Curry last year, and then Neil Curry swapped. Did the switcheroo on him here at the New York Pro. So I had a really good interview, like I said, with Michael DeBull yesterday for Global, which, like I said, on Wednesday, another follow up, and he was really. I learned a little bit more actually. It was interesting. He was bang on the same weight he was for Pittsburgh, 94 kilos here. Because thing is, I knew at Pittsburgh, that wasn't 100% conditioned. I knew he was kind of using it as a warm up. He looked a week out because the thing is with Michael DeBull, his conditioning is so good. When he's off, for him, he could still be the hardest guy up there, probably the best condition, still win like he did in Pittsburgh. but I know the standard of condition that he can bring, and it's exactly what he did here. He came in better, fuller, harder for the New York Pro, and he won it. But I tell you what, that Junior and Alexander, that was a super close top three. It could have gone either way, in my opinion.
The gentleman on the far right there, I want to give him a little credit, Eric Abalon. So much muscle. I don't even know how he made weight, but then I said something on a post on Facebook, and his coach Dave Pulcinella said he's actually a few pounds under the cap. He just got hollow bones or something. Standing there relaxed, I was like, how is this guy in classic? He's way too big, but he still has very pretty shape to him. Camilo Diaz, like you said, one of the few guys who dropped from open to classic and doesn't look, emaciated at all. He pulls it off very well. Look at the back on Junior Jaworski, my goodness.
But with Michael, last year's Olympia, and last year generally, I mean, like, he was absolutely incredible. He won the Dubai Pro, won the RJK, he was 10th at the Olympia. But for me, he was kind of like a bit of a ruler, turn him to the side, and he lacked kind of any sort of density. So the side shots, he lacked any depth or density. So he said after the Olympia, he actually backed off on the leg training, and he really, really paid attention to like his chest, his shoulders, his back, and he added a little bit of fullness. So now he's not just got condition and aesthetics, and very good presentation. He's now really, really got really, really good symmetry. So for me now, I think and by winning the New York Pro, I think he's gone from a top 10 Olympia guy to a legit top 5, maybe even top 3. So I think you're going to see Michael first call out at the Olympia. I'm calling it now. He will be first call out at the Olympia, and I think he's going to leapfrog some of those guys as well in the top 5. I think he's got the potential to really challenge Bumstead. Actually, I think he's getting that good now.
Oh, that's a bold statement, Giles. I'm going to hold you to that. Back in November, remember back in May when you said we'll see, but like I said, when I saw him at the Olympia, I remember the condition was just spectacular. I thought if he was fuller, he just kind of looked a little stringy to me compared to the guys who were beating him. But yeah, he's definitely getting better and better. Westermeyer, man, those quads on Westermeyer are something else. But Jose was saying they sort of point out his arms as a lagging body part in comparison. We're talking about Alexander Westermeyer from Germany.
Yeah. He's bloody good though. He's bloody good.
Obviously, yeah. I mean, second place last year, third place this year. He's very, very consistent. So yeah, Germany's cranking him out. Can we go to Dabul's posing routine briefly before we move out of classic? I don't have much footage of other divisions anymore.
And honestly, like I said before we started filming, the pin sharp picture I had, it was like he was in the studio with me. So when it happens like that, it makes for a really, really good interview. And I said, look, just give us 15 minutes. We're going for nearly half an hour, and it was fantastic. Wow. And then he started getting excited about all the food in Petra, because his girlfriend did a bikini.
Dabul's girlfriend was?
Yeah, Petra of Old Nova.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah, she did the bikini because she's a pro as well. So yeah, but he said he's moving. He's leaving UK now. He's moving to Dubai.
Dubai? Oh boy.
Yeah, we're buggering off there now.
Half the population of Dubai is originally from the UK.
Yeah, but look at his color. Look how superb that color is, and look at the difference when you get the color and the sheen. Absolutely bang on. Because I said to him at look at him twitching his ass when he I said at Pittsburgh, I said, you got your tan wrong. I said, it made you look softer than you were, because he's not. He's rock hard, and it made him. It was like a yellowy color. So, because Patrick said, he said Patrick too was really stressing it, ringing him at the Pittsburgh. He said, "Your tan's off. I think you're gonna lose it," because it was really close between him and the guy that was second. But he absolutely nailed it for this show. I mean, thing is, I've still seen him harder. I keep going on about the position, but I've seen, honestly, when you look at the Gilco Productions footage. He's but his physique was a lot improved, and it was good enough to win here. But I think the best is yet to come from Michael.
Real quick, I want to give a shout out to Gilco just because of the quality of their stream, their photography. It's like what's the highest K you can have now? 100K or something? How many Ks? Hey, whatever it is, they have it, because
it's about
a lot of these
8K.
Is it 8?
Yeah.
Wow. You see on some of these guys, they post clips on their Instagrams. A lot of these pay-per-views that we've gotten over the past few years, horrible, just absolute garbage. Yeah. Where, even though we're getting reimbursed by the company, we're like, oh my God, $60 for that. But the Gilco stuff, it's well worth it, guys. If you can't make it to the show, and I don't want to ruffle any feathers here, but if you're not going to be in the first, say, 10 rows, you're probably going to get a better look at home watching on Gilco, because there's pictures just so crisp. It's a team of brothers.
Do you know that at the Olympia, I think within 24 hours after the Olympia, by the 24 hours after some of the competitors have been on stage, he sends them individually a video of themselves.
Oh, that's how they get it. I was wondering how they all got it.
All the competitors. So he has someone or a team of people to make sure that when he does the footage, it goes out direct. So he contacts every single competitor. He has all their contact details, and in their inbox, in their DMs, they get this video, this beautiful quality video. But you know what? I was thinking about this in the car. Isn't that such a level up for the competitors as a service from the pro league? From you're going to go to the Olympia, and because sometimes these competitors are like, the last thing they're thinking about is good quality photos or videos. I mean, certainly in the past anyway. Right. And then in 10 years' time, they've got nothing to show of when they competed, and they're trying to talk about it. But Gilco, within 24 hours, you don't even have to ask for it. Wow. You've got this beautiful, high quality video. It kind of really makes it. It's a real edge, I think, now that the pro league has, and I think it's a really nice service for the competitors. So
yeah, nice kid. I talked to their mom at the Arnold. She was sitting next to me. It's like 2 or 3 of her sons. They run that's Gilco, and just the nicest people. They're from I wish I could remember, like Tennessee, maybe some southern state. And apologize to all you Southerners out there, just like New England. But yeah, great little company, man. They do awesome.
You know what? That's the sort when someone's doing something, like I've had Billy the MC on, and I sometimes I don't just have competitors. I'll have like Per Bernal. I've had photographers. I've had Xavier, like podcasts and stuff. Sometimes if I see someone that I really is doing good work, and I think deserves recognition, I'll get I might get them on, actually. I might see if they just come on for a 20-minute just to talk about, because like when Mitsuru, you think about if someone like Mitsuru hadn't have been around in the 90s. Yeah. These are the people that are making the contribution that is changing the game.
Well, because especially now, because streaming and webcasts, this is how most people see the shows now. Most people aren't going to physically go to New York or Paris or Alicante. Yeah. So it's important that these people are making it, and all the streams aren't equal, but this is a standard. And I'm hoping the other people that put streams together, videographers or whatever, they see how the quality that Gilco is presenting at all these shows, and they step up their game to try to match that. Because we deserve it as fans. We want to see, especially a sport that's purely visual the way ours is. It's very important that we see a nice crisp. There have been, and I'm not going to put anyone on blast, there have been streams that we've had when we were trying to cover shows for MD. I couldn't tell if the guys were fat, shredded, or anything. It was that bad. The resolution was just horrific. It looked like a flip phone from 2004 video quality.
Yeah, some of them were absolutely horrible. Absolutely.
Honestly, 2 or 3 years ago, I used to not like being asked to do play-by-play from the live stream of the quality that was out there. Do you remember when I said, I was looking at James Hollinshead on the laptop, and I was thinking, he got really upset when I said, yeah, he looks good, he'll be top 5, and he won. He got really pissed off with that. He refused to give me an interview. And in fact, I've never had him on Global since, because I thought it was pointless, because he actually refused, because he was so annoyed. And I was like, yeah, but what I'm doing is I'm not there physically there. I'm doing it off a live stream that, to me, is very, very hard to tell whether you're better or worse than the next guy and the next guy. I said, he just couldn't, he wouldn't have it, So, but now, like you said, so Gilco did the live stream.
Yeah, they did the Arnold. Okay. I think they're the official for the bigger shows. They typically do the live stream, the Olympia, the Arnold. They just do a spectacular job. They're a great company.
They're a good cast, absolutely.
But they're making a contribution to the sport that is really, really helping it to grow. And like I said, it really helps the competitors as well. Helps with their sponsors. It's like in Europe we've got that Pascal Waterfang, and he did my intro for Global.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so and I tried to promote him in return, and in fact I promoted him first, and then I said, "Can you help me with the intro?" And he said, "No, I'll do it for you. He says, "I'm happy." It's nice to see they're all working together and kind of supporting, and it's nice. It's good.
Yeah. So I didn't get footage of all the divisions. My apologies, but congrats to women's bodybuilding, Natalia Povaleva, beautiful young woman.
Amazing.
They're all out in Arizona where Wings of Strength is, of course. Women's physique, who else but Natalia Coelho, the Olympia champion.
Brilliant.
You know, she's racking up titles. Special mention, though, to runner-up Emily Schubert.
Yes.
She gave her a good run for the money. She's got these quads on her. Condition was just off the charts. She gave her a really good push. It wasn't like Natalia blew her out of the water.
Ron, I was really impressed with that Schubert. I was actually at the gym doing legs, and I was with me and Lauren. I was at the counter, and I went, "Holy shit!" When your pictures are coming through, I said, "Look at this girl." I said, "She could beat Natalia." And then Lauren says, "She says no, Natalia's got a better shape." And then because I was looking at that raidable bicep you put on the group chat, the legs, the glutes. I mean, I mean, I know the name, but that's someone I think I'll be getting on Global because I was so impressed with her. She was amazing.
She'll be. Oh, we do. Okay, yeah. Let's check it out because she'll be a force at the Olympia this year.
I didn't see the score sheets for Amandine Colley. Do you know how she did? Was she there?
I didn't look at this. I only wrote down the top 5 results, so she didn't make top 5.
I'll check the sheets. I haven't seen them yet because, like I said, I was filming Global yesterday, so I didn't get a chance to properly check.
Just outside that. Yeah. Also, I want to shout out to third place. I've never heard of her before, even though she's from Massachusetts. Jocelyn Schoner, I think he's pronounced it Schoner. Jocelyn. She's from Vineyard Haven, which is Martha's Vineyard. You know what Martha's Vineyard is? So it's an island off Cape Cod, very wealthy area. It's where they filmed. It's where they filmed the movie Jaws with the shark. You know Jaws, 1975. Yeah. That's Martha's Vineyard. In the summer, it's got probably about 50,000 people living there. In the winter, it's probably like 5 people. So she must be one of the 5 people that stays for the winter. Very impressed with her. Fourth place was Yuna Kim from Korea. Looked great. Yuna, to me, looked more like what women's physique was originally intended to look like. The look that was a little bit softer, a little bit smaller. Because Jose and I were both talking, the line between women's physique and bodybuilding is so blurry now. There were women in women's bodybuilding that were smaller than some of the women in women's physique. Yeah. And the condition on the women in physique overall was far superior to the overall condition of women bodybuilders. There are a few women in the women's bodybuilding they looked like 6-8 weeks out. Some of them had like not one cut in their legs, but nobody in women's physique looked like that. Everybody, they brought the condition. It's really odd. There were no big names.
Women's physique is actually overall, I think, a more impressive. I know it takes time for the female. I mean, maybe at the Olympia, you can really tell the difference between the female bodybuilders and the women's physique. But at some of these actual non-Olympia shows, sometimes you think there's probably half of them should be in the other division, and half of the other ones should be in the other division as well. So it must be hard trying to decide which you're right for. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true. Good point. So let's run down some other winners. We also had wellness was Giselle Machado.
Awesome.
It says Mexico on the score sheet. I believe she's Brazilian. She gave her victory speech in English, Spanish, and Portuguese. Yeah, that was something else. So Giselle, congratulations. Runner-up in wellness was Rough Diesel, Terrence Ruffins. Are they married? I think they might be married now.
Wow.
They're either engaged or married. I think they're engaged. I'm sorry, I don't know. Tiffany Samrazi, she looked phenomenal.
You'll see Terrence Ruffin with really, really well-developed glutes at the Olympia this year.
He was there. Cool. Oh, great. Yeah, he was there, obviously rooting his girl on. Nice. And I feel horrible because Jose and I were doing the wrap-up after their judging. And I said, the runner-up looked really good, and I couldn't remember her name. There's Natalia winning.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you see Sarah Villegas gave her the award. Look at my crappy handwriting. Yeah, so the girl with the short hair, that is, I'm way back. That is.
Wow, look at Schubert's legs.
Schubert. Jocelyn Schoner. Oh, now everyone knows how bad my handwriting is. I was in a rush, guys. Come on.
You're doing it very fast, Ron. You're doing it very fast. I can read it. Shannon Day does a tremendous job announcing, but I think in her hurry, in her haste, she forgot to mention that Sarah Villegas Sarah's won the Olympia twice, right? Oh no.
She didn't say Olympia champion Sarah Villegas. She said so-and-so nutrition athlete Sarah Villegas. And Jose and I looked at each other like, what? She's two-time Olympia champ. No offense to Shannon.
Shannon Day does a great job and stuff, I've heard much of the names. I've emceed a few times successfully and one not successful. What you do is actually, you know, when they're lining up, they're behind the curtain and you're there by the plinth. What you do is when you see them lining up, if there's any names you go through that you aren't familiar with, you go up and ask them quickly because you've got like a couple of minutes to ask them, so you can avoid that. You know.
Well, there's to her, you know, in her defense, some of these names, my goodness. I mean, I'm looking at some of these names like, how do you pronounce that? I mean, there's like two consonants together. Yeah, I guess you would have to ask them, but there's 300 people on the show. No. So I didn't want to call out Shannon on that because I've made dumber mistakes than that. It's just, I felt bad for Sarah. That I just want to point out, she is a 2-time Olympia champion. Women's bodybuilding, we're looking at the top 5 right now. So in the red, that was your winner, Natalia. To her right, that woman with the sort of pink, they're not called highlights, called lowlights, right? When they do it like that. So that's number 98. She was Julia Weitzel. Condition was off the charts, just glutes, thousands of striations or glutes, maybe they're not that many. She was just shredded out of her skull. Natalia, good condition, nothing like Julia's, but overall she had more size, a little better shape, obviously, as you can see. Yeah.
In that picture, Natalia looks in better condition. Look at the legs.
From the back, did I get any back shots? There you go. So there you go. Natalia didn't have glutes like that. And you know, we say it's not a glute contest. It's hard not to be impressed when you see somebody like Daboul. When you see glutes like that, you're like, geez, how does somebody get their body fat that low? That is insane.
Well, it must hurt. You must have a padded toilet seat.
Well,
sorry. I saw Natalia. She was in the lift with me at the Olympia, and she was obviously full blown off season. And I tell you what, that is one big girl.
How tall? You're over 6 foot. How tall is she?
I can't remember. She was quite tall though. She's tall, but she's huge.
Yeah, big girl.
I mean, there's no sort of there's no sort of having trouble finding out what division she's in for physique or bodybuilding. I mean, she was definitely bodybuilding. She looked amazing, man. I mean, I think I like her look actually.
100%. So let's see. We mentioned wellness real briefly. Men's physique. We have to congratulate the UK's Ryan Terry.
Yeah.
That was a big lineup. It was like, look at all these guys. 30 guys in that. It's a long, long list. So Ryan pulled it off.
Ryan said yes to come into the studio.
And can I say, as a straight male, and there's nothing wrong with being anything else, of course, Ryan's just such a good-looking guy. My goodness. The physique, and he's got this movie star look. He looks like Fabio back when Fabio was young. This square jaw. I mean, what a beautiful man. But I also
he's one of the coolest guys as well. You know, I went down to film him for Global and he's got really good legs as well. That's why it's such a shame that he's hiding these incredible legs. But I think his condition was absolutely incredible. It doesn't really show that much in that photo actually, but I'm telling you, his condition. Look at the Gilco Productions. You know, he was skinned, you know, and I like to see good condition. It's funny because he said to me a couple of years ago, he was having problems with his hips and shoulder. And he said, Giles, probably one more year and I'm done. So obviously whatever he's done, he's probably got those issues fixed or he's keeping them at bay because I mean, he won the Arnold Classic. He's been second in the Olympia to Buendia.
Yeah.
I remember when he came on the scene in 2015, but so anyway, because I thought when you said, okay, do a poll, put in the comments, we said in the Power, I think last week, was it, or the week before, said, do you want to see him in the studio? Because obviously he's a bodybuilder technically, but he's men's physique. The response was, I didn't expect such a overwhelming response from bodybuilding fans.
78% wants to see Ryan on Global.
Yeah, bodybuilding fans as well, and hardcore bodybuilding fans that I know of that were saying, yeah, absolutely get him in the studio. And the thing is, I like the guy. I've got a good vibe from him. I've got his number. You know, I speak to him occasionally. I always have a good chat with him at shows. So I'll get him in Global for the next few weeks, and we'll knock out a really good episode.
Yes.
So I also want to give credit to the runner-up from Brazil, Victor Chavez. You could see that Ryan's not quite wide enough across the clavicles to do spectacular in men's physique, in classic physique. But this Victor guy, he would kill it in classic physique, I think.
Rod, he was too big for men's physique.
Too big? You think he was?
That's a good classic physique there. Good classic. Even bodybuilding, he probably wouldn't look out of place.
Okay. Oh, Ryan, yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, some of these guys could do any division they wanted if they just sort of went up or down and wait a little bit, and they'd still. If you've got great genetics, if you've got this great V taper X frame, you're going to do well in any division that you choose to, because that's what they're always looking for. What are we going to go to next? Bikini, want to congratulate Amy Delgado, the winner.
We have video of Victor Chavez if you want to see it.
Oh yeah, please, let's see that.
All right.
I know I didn't shoot.
I want to hear people's opinions on the live comments, Jen, if you can let me know. Because personally, I think he's got an absolutely in fact, his physique is so incredible. I think it's too incredible and too developed for men's physique.
Oh, look at that.
Almost not the same guy.
Yeah, that's Victor. I mean, that's a classic.
I'm thinking of somebody differently. I apologize.
No, this guy should be this. I mean, he can do whatever he wants. It's his life, his career. But classic physique, I think he'd do very well.
Really?
I mean, he's a little bit more size, a little bit more condition. But look at the calves. You could see his quads were bulging out. You could see he's got great quads. Very complete physique.
I don't like the condition.
No, the condition wasn't. It's not really coming through in this video. He was a little sharper than what you're seeing here. I think it's just because it's a 1080 versus.
It annoys me when I see guys in men's physique or classic that aren't absolutely dry and shredded because for obvious reasons.
Yeah, no, he was. I think what we're seeing here isn't giving you the full impact of how lean he was. He was leaner than that.
Beautiful shape. He's perfectly structured, symmetry, proportion.
I'm saying.
Right.
Figure, I want to congratulate. I didn't get any footage of her, but she's from Boston. She's by far the greatest figure athlete we've ever had from this part of the United States. She's won the New York Pro before Maria Luisa Baeza Diaz Pereira. Oh, dude, good. Yeah, Maria and her husband Tom own a gym called Pro Lifters. They coach a lot of local competitors. A lot of Brazilians and Portuguese and Cape Verdeans because they speak the languages and everything. But Maria, very consistent. I think was she just second or third at the Olympia, the Arnold? She's been top 3 at all the big shows. She's won New York Pro before. So Maria's there on the left. And I think we're looking at Natalia Saltero. Next to her, Jennifer Ziner would be the blonde.
She's German. She's good. She's very good. I've seen her many times.
Very, very strong figure, big group also.
Jen, can you go back to the picture one, the front one, please? Lady on the left is the one that won, yeah?
Yes, that's Maria.
Those legs.
Pretty shredded, aren't they?
Yeah. To me, that's women's physique.
Yeah. I mean, that's like I said, the divisions are getting very blurry.
Yeah.
Bikini still looks like bikini, but I see women in figure that all Maria would need to do well in physique was add a little bit more to the shoulders and the arms. Yeah. That's it. She's got a big back.
I mean, those legs. I mean, if you look at figure even 5 years ago, and even look at the legs of Sydney Gillen. I mean, apart from Sydney Gillen, in the last 2 to 3 years, figure muscularity, certainly in the quads and in terms of separation, has completely gone crazy, in my opinion. I mean, if you compare it to when figure started or even 10, 15 years ago, it's unrecognizable. You can't even, I can't even think of an equivalent.
True. No, you're right. But, this happens to every division. They all start out a certain way. Look at my crappy handwriting again.
I honestly, I know I keep going on about it, but to me, it's I think it needs addressing, to be honest.
Jen, how about I go to the live chat and see if we can answer some questions? Let me do that. I'm gonna click on YouTube. Are you gonna do it? Let's see what was in the. I gotta turn off the volume. It's gonna start blasting here.
Sorry, it's very stuffy in here.
Yeah, it's stuffy. Oh, it's hot as dude. This office I'm in now is gonna be like a hot, like a steam bath. All right, so let's see. I'm gonna be selective with the questions, guys. I can't get to all of them. The live stream quality was better. Yeah, I'd show purchase again. Good morning, gents. Came to gloat about New York Pro predictions. Tony was not only the deserved victor, also a classy one, giving beef stew a lot of respect. Don't give the judges more time to critique your physique. Was Tonio more peeled than beef stew and Brent Swanson? No, nobody was more peeled than Brent in the open. Tonio's condition wasn't as good as Stu's. He was in good condition, but it was just an overall package, just the shape, the structure. He had so much of like everything. Tonio had a crazy 3D effect. Yeah, just that roundness to the muscles and little joints and a little waist. It goes such a long way. It's just so impressive.
When you sent over the high definition video of Tonio and I was editing it, I could see it. I could really see it come through of why. Yeah, he was just so shredded. He looked fantastic on stage.
Yeah, Raymond Jones says, I don't believe in giving other guys a chance. Tonio should keep competing if he wants. I feel that way about everything. If these guys, if you win a show, this is what you do for a living. You're a competitive athlete. Why would you say, oh, I'm going to let somebody else win? No, you know what? No, they don't care about you. It's every athlete for themselves. So get it while you can, because you never know what's going to happen tomorrow.
Plus, if you've got a sponsor that matches your prize money every time you win, or makes 50% or at least 50%, then maybe you think, well, it's a week after and I know the lineup and it's the same guys that I easily beat last week or whatever. You know, you can see why they just go for it.
Yeah. So someone says Stu's midsection, Raymond Jones. Stu's midsection was washed out. That was the most glaring weakness. Yeah, I could see his midsection could be better. And then someone else, Varangian, says he's a rough diamond. Yeah, we're not seeing the final form of Stu. He's still very young, rough around the edges. He's going to get much, much better. Can't hear you, Giles.
Nope, I'm here.
Oh, there you go. You're quiet there for a second. Oh, okay. He turned his mic off because he was annoying you. Varangian Vigilante, good day for Czech competitors. Yeah, the woman who won, it said Arizona, but I'm pretty sure she's from Czech Republic. Josef, it'd be Joseph or Joseph. I don't know, guys. Help me out. He looked damn good. Yeah, what the heck went on?
Hoodie off.
Where am I? Zoom meeting. Go back to Zoom meeting.
Oh, it's not winter anymore. I keep forgetting.
Winter is coming. Yeah, I just started season 7 of Game of Thrones. I'm a little late to the party.
I've never watched it.
Okay, it's a big investment. It'd be 80 hours of your life to get through it. So
I heard it got lots of sex and violence.
Yeah, definitely very gruesome violence. A lot of gore. Yeah, I was surprised. Yeah.
Since you like to talk about the Utah cousins, there's a lot of incest.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I mean, 2 of the main characters are brother and sister, and she's the queen, and he's they produced 2 kings that died already. Not spoiling it. 2 of their sons became kings, and they both died. Anyway,
and the daughter, and the daughter.
Oh, that's right. Who was their daughter? Oh, she was murdered.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was Marcellus.
Marcellus.
Right,
Yeah,
Run.
Yeah.
I've just finished Beef.
What'd you just finish?
I've just finished Beef on Netflix.
Beef. I don't know what that is.
With who's the guy? The guy clonked on the head with the eyeball in Walking Dead. The Chinese Korean guy.
Well,
yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. He's in that.
Yeah,
I can't remember.
Glenn. Episode, I was like, this is rubbish. It starts with a bit of road rage, and the guy gets flipped off, and then he follows them, and he starts tracking them down and gets the number. But the story, it's 9 episodes. Give it a watch. If it's worth giving it a go, it's really good.
Let's see if we can find Beef on that.
What's his name?
Let's go a couple more things from the live stream. Prague Pro is after Olympia this year. Okay, so EVLS Prague is post-Olympia show this year.
Yeah.
Let's see what Raymond Jones. What happened to the Gym Hub guy? He's talking about Nate Tello. Nate did not make top 10 in 212. He looked great. He just, got a little bit outmassed. I thought he brought really good condition. He's got good shape, but
Okay.
yeah.
Oh, I thought it was going to copyright me for a second.
Yeah, really good. Give that a go, guys. Really good. I recommend it.
That's his name. Swanson was peeled. How did Brent place? Brent was, I think we said 9th, right?
9th. Yeah,
he was 9th. So for someone, go ahead, Josh.
How did Loblin look?
He was shredded.
Good question.
He was shredded. He came. Oh, there you go. Stephen Yun and Ellie Wong. Wow. Okay.
Good.
Yeah. Mark Lobliner did himself proud. You could see.
Here's the pros
he knew. Okay. Yeah. He knew going in, he wasn't in the running to win, but he had a great time. He felt he belonged up there. He didn't look out of place. It's like, well, what's that guy doing there? How'd he turn pro? It wasn't one of those situations. He would need a lot more mass to move up. And, he's running 4 multi-million-dollar businesses. He's got 3 kids who are all phenomenal athletes. He does the strength training coaching for all of them at their school. He's a very, very busy guy. So for him to do that well,
no, he wasn't in there
with all that going on.
Is that black guy on the right with a nice shape? He caught my eye.
Okay, so the bald head.
This guy as well, and the guy in the blue, but this guy here in the red, I recognize him.
Yeah, so that was Jason Joseph from New Jersey.
Yeah. I remember him.
He took 6th place. And Jose and I actually talked to him after judging. He was 191 pounds. So Jose said, come in at 183 and you could have possibly won this. He's got
Wow.
the beautiful, beautiful shape. Not a huge guy, but just beautiful round. Look, he looks a lot bigger than 190 pounds, doesn't he?
Ron, look, I mean, frontal bicep, apart from condition, can you fault any head to toe or any part of his physique? Because I can't.
No, there he is, Jen Frozen. The red trunks we're talking about, Jason Joseph.
Amazing.
Like I said, all he was missing was condition. Had he been sharper, I think he would have been pushing Kareth. That's how good he is.
He needs to keep competing and bring it down like 6 or 7 pounds because he could qualify for the Olympia this year. He's really good.
Totally. Let's see. Raymond Jones says Max didn't look good from the back. Yeah, he could have been sharper. It wasn't the best Max I've ever seen.
Hebert's legs there when he was locking his leg out, the striations, his legs.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Hebert's. Look at that. When he poses, he comes alive. Doesn't he? When you see him walking around, he looks quite undersized and small, but when he poses, everything just pops.
Yeah, and I want to give that guy credit with the blue trunks there. That was fourth place Jose Marte. Really good physique, good muscle density, maturity, a lot of striations when he posed. Very well put together physique. Kevin Clements says Ian is doing Toronto. I can't wait to see if he can get some redemption from the O.
Who?
You talking about Ian Valier is doing Toronto in 2 weeks.
Nice.
Varangian says Samson was robbed at the first Arnold UK. Well, I don't know.
What?
Hassan should be able to beat. Yeah, apparently.
No, it wasn't Nathan. Nathan deserved that.
Yeah.
Samson was good.
Hassan,
Samson was on the at the start of his going from good to great.
Also, Hassan Mustafa's doing the Toronto show too. Toronto Pro.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, I was wondering when he was going to come back. He looks. I could tell he's been in prep, but I thought maybe I would have seen him at this show. But in Toronto, okay.
For his height, he's probably got more. He's probably got as much muscle per square inch as Sean Clarida or Ramy when he's at his biggest.
Not true. Varangian says, I'd take the Arnold Classic prize money over a gift card and a Wolfpack backpack. Well, come on, guys. They actually got money, and the open winner got a nice ring with diamond studs on it, too. So they got
That's a nice payoff, in my opinion. Plus, you got an Olympia qualification. I mean,
exactly. Bill Talaf says, I got bigger arms than the Korean guy, and I'm natural. Well, there's a lot of Korean guys. I don't know which one you mean.
Jump in there.
Yeah.
Go card and jump in the show and stop talking.
Seriously. Come on now. Kareth looked pretty darn good. Go for it, Kareth. It'd be tough to see her at the Olympia. I'm going to see if there's any actual questions here. Last year was incredible. Gilko. Xavier's such a good dude. Talking about Xavier. Is Xavier on there? No. I didn't see Xavier. Was Xavier on the chat?
no, Xavier's probably sleeping now. He might be up. He might be up, but it's kind of late for him over there.
I know in Brisbane, Australia, it's 1:27 in the morning. Yeah,
he was working late last night.
Are you going to reach out to Jocelyn Artwix, or do you want me to?
Oh, you can do that. That's fine.
Because
I like him too, but
we're going to have to get him early in the morning because I've interviewed him before, and you have to get him at like 10, 11 a.m. Well, my time to get him for like 11 o'clock midnight for me because I'm really, really excited about seeing him coming back at the Masters Olympia.
I always know what time it is in Brisbane, Australia, because my son's been there since January, and what a time difference. It's 14 hours now. It was 15 because they didn't change the clocks. Good Lord.
Is he enjoying it?
Civil War in bikini.
Is he enjoying it, Ron?
Oh, yeah, he's having a great time. He's coming back end of next month. Thank goodness. I miss him. Miss my boy. Miss my little boy.
How long was he there for?
So January, he got there first week in January. January 12th, and he's coming. I think his flight is June 27th. So it's going to be close to 6 months. Yeah, close to 6 months. Yeah. Someone says Josh would be a great guest. I agree. All right, so let's see. So we've been going for a while. Giles, you had some random stuff you wanted to cover before we go, so let's do that. Thank you guys, everyone who contributed to the chat. But what were you thinking, Giles?
These are very random things just popped into my head, just something I thought, we can throw in at the end. Also, firstly of all, I want to thank Samson for introducing me to the world of barbecue. Because seriously, I remember, what's his name? The body popper who's doing the Masters Olympia. Darren Charles. I remember seeing him on the Battle for the Olympia many years ago, and he was saying, like, this is how I prep my food, and it makes it so easy. He has the grill, and then he cooks it all fresh. But obviously, if you live in a nice hot climate, you can do that in the mornings. And then when I was at Samson's house last year, when I stayed with him when he was a few weeks out from the Arnold, At the nighttime, because Milos had him on so little food, he had him on 2 eggs for breakfast. I mean, you've seen the size of Samson. He's like, 320 pounds. And he was really starving him because he has to kind of get him in condition, you know? And at nighttime, he went out and he had his grill outside and he cooked his fish and brought it in. And he says, what I do, he says, now I said at nighttime, he says, I get all my steak and all my chicken. He says, I put it all out. I cook it all in one go. I put it into Tupperware containers. And he said, it's so easy to diet having one of these things. He said, so, and I bought one on the weekend. I put it together. And I tell you what, it's, I actually like eating chicken again now. So,
okay.
But, right. Why aren't competitors allowed to wear glasses on stage?
Who said they can't? Who said that?
Yeah, somebody said on the forum today, they said you're not allowed to wear glasses on stage. And when was the last time you saw a competitor wearing glasses on stage?
I've seen it. It's rare, but maybe it's, yeah, I mean, maybe it's the glare. Maybe people don't want to, they're worried about the glare from the lights hitting the glasses and like blinding people. I don't know.
What?
I never knew that.
I was at a UKBFF show, I think it was 2004, and the guy who came out, he's a bit of a psycho. He had these tinted glasses on, and then one of the officials said, "You, come here." First of all, he said, "Spit out the gum." So he had to spit the gum out into this guy's hand in front of everyone, in front of the stage. And he says, "And also, take these things off." And he went over and he says, "You come here." The competitor said that. He says, "Oh, and now you listen to me." He says, "These are prescription." He says, "I ain't taking them off." And then he just walked back and just basically went back into his lineup.
Yeah. I mean, I competed the last few times I competed. There's the grill. I didn't wear my glasses. And look at that. And Giles also assembled that himself. Not easy.
Thank you. You know, I'll be honest. The swear jar was full within about 30 minutes. So I was really, I said to Laura, I said, go inside. I said, and shut the door. I don't want you to hear some of the colourful language that I'll be using when the handle I put on upside down, so I'm going to have to go and fix that. Oh, and also, I know it's a bit of a training question here. Do you consider dumbbell pullovers to be a chest or a back exercise? Sorry? I
say chest.
No, it's back.
It's both, actually, but I mean, yeah, technically, but I think it's the worst way to do pullovers, in my opinion, because you just don't have the resistance throughout the full range of motion the way you would with a machine or a cable. Oh, there's this Corona. Okay, what's that? Chocolate flavor?
It's funny. Sales of that beer went down in 2020.
Well, that's right, Corona. Well, look what happened to Bud Light. Nobody's buying Bud Light anymore.
Well, the Bud Light, yeah. Oh my God, that's gone crazy. Do you think that's worked for them, or do you think it's gone against them? Because
are you kidding me? They're getting boycotted. Nobody's buying Bud Light anymore. They might go bankrupt.
Really? Or is it done the opposite effect, knowing what would happen, and now it's actually sales have gone up?
It was a bad move for them to do that.
Sales have gone way down. They've gone way down. Way down. I mean, they were trying to be hip and cool and woke, and it backfired. It blew up right in their faces.
Stupid, wasn't it?
Beer, generally speaking, I don't think most beer drinkers are worried about, you know what, we need to do more. We need a transgender representative for beer. That's what we really need.
No.
It's stupid.
No.
I don't want to get canceled by YouTube, so let me shut up. Anyway.
Because like I want to start doing them again, because I used to like doing them, but I used to do it when I trained chest and back together. So at the end of my chest workout, I could never decide whether I was doing it at the end of my chest workout or the beginning of my back workout, because I was like, is this the end or the start here? So,
well, all it's really good for chest, in my opinion, is stretching the pecs, and you can do that with like dumbbell flies in the bottom position. I don't see any point in doing dumbbell pullovers. So they used to, years ago, we're talking like 50 years ago, people would do them to expand the rib cage. They would breathe in, take a big breath in as they were lowering the weight, and they had all kinds of wacky theories back then, but whatever.
So if you did them now, where would you be sore tomorrow?
I could make my lats. I could fire my lats doing them. Yeah, but
I used to find I just felt they made me a little bit wider.
Well,
I felt like it really like the outer lats, where it kind of comes right into the armpit there. That's where I kind of felt it.
Well, then you should keep doing them by all means.
I've done it for years.
You can keep doing them. I want no part of dumbbell pullovers.
Well, Dorian says they're a back exercise.
Dorian also told me cable pullovers are useless because you can't get enough weight on the stack. I said, you can't get enough weight on the stack, Dorian. I think the average human being probably isn't going to be like, oh no, this stack is too light. I'll do 1,000 reps with this. So
I'll tell you what. Next time you do ask Sean Clarida, ask him, because he's the only one I see doing that exercise anymore.
Oh, wow.
He does them. He's the only one. He's the only competitor that I see on Instagram, with his training footage. The only one that I see doing that exercise. But I like it was like parallel bar dips. He's an old school exercise that I used to find really, really effective that you just don't see people doing anymore. I can't remember the last time I saw someone doing, like, the dipping bars are dusty in my gym because no one bloody uses them.
Yeah. Sean was at the show, by the way, Sean Clarida.
Was he? And
he lives in Texas now, but he flew back. I think Gasp. Michael Johansson from Gasp was there. Branch was there. Guy Cisternino, well, guys in New Jersey anyway, but there was a lot of local athletes on hand. Sean's looking enormous.
Ridiculous, isn't it?
Of course, but
I'm kind of disappointed he didn't do the Masters Olympia.
Oh, Sean. Well, we talked about it. He said the timing just,
Prize money.
How many times is he going to the prize money? I talked. There he is. Yeah. Rami was there. Rami made a big mistake though, wearing that white hoodie, because so many people went up and tried to hug him with their tans. So there was all these. This must be before most of that happened. He had all kinds of brown smudges on him from that.
Did you see the picture? Not a slight on Tonio, but did you see the picture of Tonio with Samson?
No.
Have a look at Samson's Instagram and look at the picture of him. Oh, wow, nice.
I'm sure Samson's significantly larger.
Ron, Kerith made me show the article he'd had in MD this month.
Yeah, that's right. I brought an issue for him. I actually brought it. I brought a copy. I thought Blessing might have been at the show, and he wasn't there. And I was like, who am I going to give this to? And I'm like, oh, wait a minute, Kerith's here. Yeah, we're going to send him some copies anyway. But that was the first time I think he had physically seen the issue, and he was very, very happy with it. All right, there you go.
He said, Giles, because I had the MD, obviously I have it on the stand in front of me because I like it in camera shot, when I get the new issue.
Yeah.
And he said, Giles, go to page 70. And honestly, mate, it really warmed my heart to see how happy it made him, because he said that's his first ever article in a magazine. But mate, he was so happy with that, mate. He was 7 pages and MD's got.
Yeah, I you know what? As much as people say print is dead, it's all on your phone. There's something special, especially as a bodybuilder, of opening up a magazine and you're all over the big, full page pictures of yourself. It's just, and a lot of these guys are never going to experience that because most of the magazines, MD is the last print magazine left. So,
mate, I think I'll go into a deep depression if I ever have to stop doing my column.
Oh, well, let's hope that never happens. Jeez.
I love it. And I love writing features and stuff. It's something I've been doing. I've been doing that since 1995, mate. And it's something that I think I would be very sad if I have to, because that's, writing as well. Because we can do this all day long, doing lives and in podcasts and that's great. But a lot of people do it. But the writing is something that is an art that I hope is never lost. Sorry, there's Ron, you look amazing in that, mate. I've got to say.
Thank you.
You do. You look so cool. I just don't. I'm so annoyed that it took so long.
Better late
than never. Better late than never. And no tie. Didn't bring my tie.
But you look fantastic, Ron. It looks really good on you.
Look good. And Jen, can you go to Samson's Instagram? Are you on it now? There's a picture of him with Tonio. Have a look. You see really just how big Samson is. If there's any doubt, because people say he's not 300 pounds, he's not even, and he's like 320.
He's every bit of 320 pounds. If you stand next to him, it's a lot of human being. Yeah, he's a big dude.
Not many of these bodybuilders are that tall. They're like 5'9", they're 5'9" when they say they're 5'11", so, but Samson is legit 6 foot. Look at that.
Yeah, look at that. Yeah. Look at that.
I mean,
he's a big dude.
Antonio's like, he's popping on stage, isn't he? He's huge,
And Samson's hanging out. He's Pittsburgh last weekend, New York, or New Jersey this weekend. Then he's going to be to Cali. Is that where he's going? I think he's going to Cali.
I said to him, I messaged him personally on WhatsApp the other day. And I said, mate, it's so nice to see following your journey every single week and every day. I said the fun and the experiences and the memories and the kind of that you're making. He's taking his wife as well, Malena, and stuff. Seeing him travel the world and really kind of experiencing that the love and the kind of benefits that come, you know, from becoming what he's become now, like an absolute legit superstar, Olympia hopeful. It's so nice to see him traveling the world, and just you can see he's savoring every single moment. He's loving it. I mean, he is traveling the world, and also I think perhaps most impressive, he's still managing to improve his physique. You know, so that shows you how disciplined and how focused this guy is. The fact that he can do that. I mean, remember when the second Olympia that Jay did, and, you know, he didn't look as good because he didn't want to say no to any opportunities that came once he became Mr. Olympia. And he said that was the mistake he made that lost it. Actually lost him the title in 2008 because he was saying yes to everything because he wanted to make money and travel and, you know, and represent the title. But unfortunately, there can be a negative where you're not focusing and you're not in the gym and you're not in your normal routine to be able to improve, to hold on to the title, you know. And in 2009, I think it was from June onwards, he said he didn't do any appearances, no guest posings, and that's what helped him win the title back. So, but Samson's kind of like achieving, you know, the opposite, where he's actually traveling all over the place and he's still managing to improve. I think it's a real hats off to him for achieving that. It's incredible. It's no mean feat.
I do hope he shuts it all down, all traveling, say 12 weeks before the Olympia.
Oh yeah,
you know, so he will. He knows what he's doing, and you know, Milos knows what he's doing.
And he's such a nice guy. He won't. I think he just likes to say yes to. Like when he came up last year. I mean, he came all that way up from bloody Essex to here to the studio, and I think was it before the Arnold? What was that afterwards? I can't remember. I'm sure.
I remember, but what's that? A 4-hour drive?
And the rest.
Wow. Jeez.
Yeah, it was probably. Well, I remember. I think it was 7 hours when I came back. I got stuck in traffic.
Jeez.
But it was like, you know, you're talking the length of England. He drove to come up and do an episode of Global.
Wow. Yeah, I mean,
and I actually insisted that I pay for his hotel.
Good man. Yeah,
I put him in the Shibden where I put Phil Heath, Brandon Curry, Patrick Tour, Kamal El Gardner. It's a beautiful AA star restaurant, 17th century. And when I brought Phil up, I put him in the top suite. You know, it's beautiful. You know, he had a nice tailored shirt on the bed waiting for him. All his food from the prep food company. It was still warm. I literally had it on the side waiting for him when he arrived.
Oh boy, you're the best host ever, Giles. My goodness. So let's wrap it up, guys. It's been an MD almost 2 hours at this point. Power 2 hours. Yeah, let's wrap it up because we're going to do this again next week. That was a New York Pro, guys.
Yes.
Any closing thoughts on the 2023 New York Pro, Giles?
No, like I said, I'm just happy to see. It's nice to see the new faces, but when the new faces come in and make an impact, like the Stu Sutherland and, you know, guys like Joseph and Eric Wood and stuff, it's nice to see these guys getting their chance because the other big names aren't showing up. You know, like you think about when Dorian took second at the Night of Champions back in 1990, you know, that basically launched him. That got him on the map. You know, that was his pro debut. So for these guys to come in, because this is the equivalent show. This is the show that took over in, what year did it take over as New York Pro, Ron?
2005.
Yes. Who won it?
Wasn't Branch.
I just mentioned him about 10 minutes ago.
Wasn't Phil Heath, was it? No.
The barbecue guy.
Darren Charles?
Yes.
Right, yeah, I forget. Because Darren, then after that, I think it was Phil. The year after, Branch, the year after. Yeah, it's had so many great shows. I want to make sure I give a couple shout outs. Thanks to High Tech Pharmaceuticals for sponsoring MD's coverage, of course. I want to thank Jose Raymond for coming down. He was going to be there for Nate anyway, but he did a fantastic job. I couldn't have asked for a better commentator. He's got this eye for physiques like you do, Giles. Doesn't miss a thing.
Absolutely.
And Steve Weinberger. I want to thank Steve Weinberger for all his hospitality, giving us nice seats. IFBB Pro League, everybody, and all the fans that came up. People take pictures with me. It's still very, very flattering. I'm like, me? Why do you want to take a picture with me? But whatever. And yeah.
I quickly interject. I really was very impressed with your photos from the phone. Remember that first one came through, and I went, "Are you taking this with an iPhone?"
Yeah.
Like, I mean, obviously, I think it's kudos to not just yourself, but to also the lighting. And the fact that there was people were commenting there was no distracting backdrop and the lighting was fantastic. And apparently I said to Kerith yesterday, I said, is that a new venue? And he says, no, they've gone back to an old venue that they used. And he said, all us competitors backstage were talking about how happy we were because the ones that have done the show the year that it was at that venue were really, really happy with the photos they got back, because it was good lighting. Not that that it really highlighted the guys that were really in condition, you know, so it made everyone look their absolute best. So well done, Ron. Your photos are fantastic, mate. Yeah, the
LED screens, they're cool and pretty and high tech, but they do sort of mess up, especially the photos when you're taking, because the camera sometimes, unless it doesn't know what to focus on, the background or the athlete. But these lighting was great. You could see it in the photos. You can see it in the Gilco productions. Beautiful, beautiful lighting. So that's it. Thanks, Giles. Thanks, Jen. Thanks to everybody out there who watched and participated in the live chat. We love having you guys on, get your feedback. If you weren't here watching it live with us, leave some comments below. Giles and I always go back. We love the feedback, good and bad. It's all helpful to us. So drop a comment down there. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already. Like the video, share the video. Turn on your notifications, guys. Not only here, the little bell thing in the corner, but you got to do it on your phone in the settings too. Very, very important. Yes, Charles?
Pullovers, chest or back? Answer.
Oh, that should be below. Yeah. What do you guys think?
Yeah. And Global Wednesday is it's pure chaos going on behind the scenes, but we pulled together an app. So I was watching it, and I'm really happy. And that's 3 really good episodes that I'm completely happy with, because you know me, I'm such a fussy bastard. There's about 30 different things I'm looking to critique, but these last 3 episodes I'm really happy with. So I feel like I've got my mojo back with that, you know, because I had a couple of weeks where I wasn't completely happy, but yeah, we're back on a roll with it now. So yeah, all good.
Wednesday at 9:15 a.m. right here on this channel, MD Global Muscle, brand new episode. Check back. The past couple weeks have been really good. If you didn't watch the Nathan Diasha one, he's hilarious. You might need subtitles. I tried to turn on subtitles, and it wasn't. They couldn't even figure them out. Even YouTube couldn't figure them out.
The subtitle says, "No way, we're going near this."
That is the deepest, darkest Birmingham accent I've ever, or Liverpool.
Even the AI software that we usually use for captioning came out with something entirely different. I'm like, what the hell?
Giles can figure them out. I don't know how.
Yeah, just about. And you know, a funny story about Nathan. I was at the 2017 All Europe. That was the one that Rami won and beat William Bonac. Nathan was 5th. Sean Roden was in it. Ruley was in it. Max Charles. And I was at the lobby of the hotel, and Nathan was there. And I think Johnny Jackson was there. I think Rami was there. Bonac, Sean Roden. And anyway, Nathan turns to him and he starts talking in an American accent.
Wow.
And I went, whoa. And afterwards, when they went, I went, Nathan, what was that? What was that accent all about, mate? And he says, Giles, they can't understand me otherwise.
Wow. So he can.
Because I said, why are you putting on a phony American accent? It sounds terrible. It's really cheesy, mate. And he went, no. He said, what?
Can you do that?
Well,
a phony American accent. I want to hear it.
I can do any region.
Okay, fair enough. Let's hear you do New York.
No. We'll save that for next episode.
Well, he's had enough experience with New York to do it, I'm sure.
That's what I'm saying.
Boston.
The go-to, I found, now when people from other countries try to do an American accent, their go-to is always a Southern accent for some reason.
Really?
I don't know why, but they all, y'all go and come to my country. And I'm like, wait a minute, that's just one part of the USA, you silly rabbit. We don't know.
What accent is it in Utah then?
You don't have much of an accent in Utah. No,
or they do Californian accents, I've noticed.
California. I'm talking crap. I lived there for 10 years. All right, guys, that is going to do it. So we appreciate you guys all watching. Again, if you're not watching this live, you're watching it later, leave some comments below. Giles and I, we come back and we respond to everybody. We appreciate it very much when you participate like this. We just don't talk just to hear. We don't just speak to hear ourselves talk. We like interaction. So
I do.
That's it. You do. So for Muscular Development, high-tech pharmaceuticals, New York Pro, all that stuff, we're gonna say goodbye for this episode of MD Power Hour. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next week. Hey, did you like that video? Smash that like button, subscribe to MD, and please comment down below. Thanks for watching.